Hello everybody. In this screencast we're going to look at another assignment that also uses Firebase to store dumb data and for authentication. So basically we already did authentication before, so the starter file will have all the authentication code that's needed. You just need to add your Firebase file into the project. So I'm using my Firebase file, but you need to use your own, right? But anyway, the authentication is already done. You log in, you go in, and basically it's the grades application that we used before. Basically 2 screens, the grades, list your grades. So it should list only the grades for the user who's logged in. This means that the query should only return the grades that were created by a specific logged in user, right? They shouldn't see the grades of other students or other users of the app. And all the because they are all my grades, I should see a trash can beside each one of them. So basically it's the delete feature. You add a course and you should think about the course information, meaning there's a course number, the course name, course hours, course grade, and basically I need to figure out who created the course and stuff I need in order to be able to calculate the GPA and so on. We did calculate the GPA before in the previous applications, but I'm going to use Firebase to store the data now. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'll have a collection. I'll call it, for example, grades. Let's see, grades, here it is. And then basically it has an auto ID, and basically I could say, for example, owner ID. This is the ID of the owner. This is the user ID that you get when you go, let's see, when you go to the authentication side. Like if you go here in the authentication, these are the user IDs. So basically I'm going to copy this user ID. So let's say this is the user ID. And another one, which owner was that? This was Bob, right? B at B, copy that, b@b.com. This was Bob. Alright, so I added the owner ID. I don't need the owner name, because it's not displaying anywhere here. I can also have the course name. I can call it the name of the course, the number, right? Here's number, right? The number of the course. So basically the name of the course, let's say the name of the course is, let's say, mobile development. And then basically here I'll call it ITIS 5180, for example. That's the course number. And then this is the, let's say I can store the letter grade if I want. Let's say letter grade. Okay. Keep in mind that these are going to be names of variables in Java. So let's pick names that you can work with. So let's say letter grades A, B, C, D, and D. So it's letter grade, and then hours. And basically this is going to be a number, and the hours are, let's say 3 hours, 3.0, right? So this is 0.0, here it is. What else do I need? I think I have all what I need. Who owns it, the name of the course, the letter grade, and the number of hours. Okay, so I will click save, and that becomes my grade. Cool. So basically, the idea is just very straightforward now, just to show you how to do the querying of the grade. And also there is something interesting here where you see a menu. You see here there is a menu item at the top. Let's have a look at how to do that. And basically it assumes that the app uses the default action bar. So basically this is the top menu item here. The top menu here is called an action bar. So the default action bar, which is straightforward, comes already with the app. So let's see how to use it. So basically, if we look at the grades fragment, here it is. And in order to create a menu like this, so we need to have menu. So basically, in order to do that, you go into resources, you right click, and you can click new. And what we are interested in is an Android resource file, and it is of type menu. You see here, menu. The name of the file, I'll call it, for example, main menu, right? That's the main menu, and I click OK. So it creates a resource file called menu, right? And then if you look at the code, basically the menu, I want an item. Here is the item. Here's an item, and the item has a name. You can have an icon has an ID. You can have an ID, and for example, you could say, you could call it, for example, action add, right? And basically it's not happy because it needs also to have a title. For example, I could say, for example, add course, right? That could be that, or it could also have an icon. an icon, Android icon, all right, and then basically you could do add drawable, and I do have an add icon that I added. All right, here's an add icon, and basically you can also dictate how is it visible. So basically, I already in drawable I have an add icon. You see here is an add icon that I added for you. You can there is also an image, IC plus, if you want. Okay, so it's an image, it's a plus sign. I don't know if you can see it, but then here you could also show, let's see. So basically when you look at the design, it will look something like this. I want to show the image, right? So show action as, if you click and then you say always apply, so it shows as a plus. You see that? Always. And you say visible, okay, and it's always enabled. It's also enabled. You can do enabled here. So you see the plus sign. I have a plus sign here. So now I created a menu that has that. I can also add another one, for example, another action, which is logout. So for example, I can do this item ID. I call it, for example, action ID, action logout, right? And then basically I could give it, for example, enabled, and then Android. Let's say, for example, this one is just a title, and I'm gonna say logout. All right, so that's this. Now if we look at the design of it, you see here, now I could say show action as always. Here it is, apply. So it's going to show up like this, and it is visible. Here we are. And so basically I have the action. Okay, so now you can also change the order, right? So basically which one shows before the other one, right? So basically the order, they now have the same priority, right? So if you look here, if you move them, you see now the logout is on the left, right? So now I have these, and it's not happy. Yeah, it says that use if room allows, but anyway, we don't have that much space anyway that we are using at the top, so we are good. This is the ID. This one has an image. You see here is a plus. The other one is the logout. So we have the menu, right? So now how to set up the menu? So when I run the app, you see here, the login is already set up. So basically when I log in, the login will work, right? So basically, let's say we go here. I have b@b.com test 123 at b.com. All right, so we login works. I'm here. I would like to show the menu here in the grades. So in order to do that, it's very straightforward. You go here, and what we need to do is this. So what we need to do is on options, okay, or it's options menu. Okay, create options menu. You see that? Create options menu. All right, and then basically we need to inflate the menu, right? And we need to inflate. So this is how you create inflator.inflate the menu. This is how you inflate your menu. You tell it which menu is it. We called it the main menu. So basically you tell it inflate the main menu in here, and that's it. That's basically what is happening here. But if you run it, it's still not going to work. You know, if we run this, let's see. You see, there is no menu I see here. In order for this to happen, you need to tell it that has options menu. You have to tell it that this fragment has its own options menu. So when you run it now, see what's going to happen. It shows the options menu, right? And then how do I respond to these clicks? In order to respond to these clicks, there is another method called on options menu item selected, right? And basically what happens is that you get the menu items. You could check to see if item dot get ID is equal to r.id dot, and then this is the add. Is it the add action? Else if item dot get ID is equal to r.id dot logout action. So basically you can, and basically if you address it, you just return true here, right? And similarly here, return true to signify that this menu action has been handled. So basically that's what we are doing here. Okay, so basically it's either this or that, and then you can respond to whatever you like to respond here. So basically the add, we have the M, we're going to tell the M listener to add a course, here it is, and then this one we're going to tell the M listener to log out, right? So the M listener doesn't have a logout, so let's add one here. We do void logout. Okay, now we need to go to the main activity, make sure that it implements that method, right? The logout method, so we're good. So now we'll go and implement it and so on, but you could see, for me to show you this, let's see. So I'd like to sign out. We'll sign out, we replace it by the login screen. Okay, good. So now let's run this and see. So basically you will see that the menu will be at the top. Here it is. And you can resize this, make it smaller, make it bigger, whatever you like. So let's see if I use the other one. The other one is a little bit better. So let's see. I see add icon. It's a little bit thinner. So let's see if it's gonna work. Here we go. You have the plus sign here, and it takes you here. Click on cancel. I don't have the code wired up yet, but I can log out. Here's the logout. Okay, a@a.com and test 1 2 3, and we go. There it is, and here we are. Good. So I have the menu. Nothing new here. Just how to set up this menu. There is a process. We already went through the process. So basically, we create a menu file, and then there are a couple of stages. One, you have to inflate the menu, and then you go to the next screen, and so on. Right. So that's this. Let's build just to make sure that my binding here is not happy. Fine. So now let's see what else do we do. So we have the plus sign. We're able to go to here. We're able to add a course. So let's go do. And here I'm going to set up a listener to listen to my grades. So in order to do that, I'm going to do this in onViewCreated here, somewhere here, and not on menu options. Sorry, onViewCreated. Where is that? OnViewCreated. Here we are. And let me set up the listener. So basically, in order to do that, I am going to set up a listener. So I have Firebase Firestore dot get instance. So I need Firebase Firestore. Okay, I need the instance. Okay, I need to do that here. So I can do this here. I'll set up. Here it is, and then we'll do db.collection. And let me just disable this now. Code path is grades. Okay. Dot add snapshot listener new. Here we are. We get the snapshot listener. So adding a snapshot listener gets it what? db.collection dot add snapshot listener. It returns the listener registration. Cool. So now let's do this. This is the listener registration. Listener registration, and this is the listener registration. Here we are. Go this is here, equal to this. Good. And we remember that we are going to use the on destroy view. And so if listener registration is not equal to null, right, I'm going to disable it. So listener dot remove the listening. Here we are. Okay, cool. So now here, if error is not equal to null, then we are going to present a toast dot get activity, and we're just going to show error dot get message. Right, so here we are. Else we do something else here. All right, so basically here we are going to get the value. So for there's a for loop for each. So basically, in order to do this, we can go look at the documentation. Here it is. Where is Firestore? Here's build Firestore, and read the data. And we want real-time updates. Here it is. And here is the if what do you call it, the for loop. Here it is. Here is this, the for loop. Right, here it is. Copy that and paste it. The nice thing about the documentation for Firestore is that it's really it's good, right? So it's Very good. So basically here we are. I'm not going to do all of that stuff. Here it is. So now here it is. And then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to say grade equals doc dot get dot to object from grade dot class. So in that case, I will use exactly the same name of variables, the same names that are inside here. And then basically I'm going to do m grades dot add grade, and here we are. So we added the grade here, and we'll do we'll do all the other things in a little bit. So basically I think there is also of course an adapter. So there is an adapter dot notify data has changed, right? And then basically also we need to do the m grades dot clear, just to remove everything, add the grades and so on. So now let's do the grades. Let's go back to what we decided to do here. If you look at the cloud function, this is what we're going to do. I'll copy that from here. Go to the grade, and basically you want stuff to look like this. So basically I'm going to have maybe public double hours, right? So that's this. So I have the hours done, right? And then this is a number, this is a string. So public string, this is the grade, letter grade, the name of the course, here's the name of the course, the number of the course number, okay, and then the owner ID. Here's the owner ID, and we're good to go. I have all of the stuff related to this here. I create an empty constructor. Make sure to create an empty constructor. Okay, here is an empty constructor. Okay, so now let's add generate getter and setter for all of them, and we can do also a toString. We do a toString also, just for the sake of demonstration here. So I have the grade set up here for me. Things look okay. I have the grade. Here it is. And now let's see the adapter. There is an adapter already that we created for you in the starter file. So there's the adapter. This is the binding process. So now we go here. We'll do binding dot, or sorry, mbinding dot image view delete. We already have that. Text view hours dot set text to grade dot hours. So let's have a look. So basically we want to see 3 credit hours, for example. So we're going to do something like this, and this is the number. So basically this is going to be mgrade dot get hours. Okay, and here we are. So that's the hours. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So basically text view course name, text view letter grade, text view course number, and basically this one is get name, get number, the course number, right? And then basically here this is the dot get number, this is get letter grade, So basically I have all what is needed here. We have the name, the course number, the letter grade, all of that stuff is here. Okay, good. We'll look at the trash can right now. So mbinding dot image view delete dot set on click listener, new on click listener, and we'll figure out how to do the delete in a little bit, but it should be straightforward, right? So here we are. Now if we run this, should it work? So let's see what we're doing here. So we are doing the on destroy, we're doing the listening here, we're getting the data, putting it here, and now let's have a look at the at the adapter to make sure that we are returning the correct values. Yes. Okay, let's run and see. Okay, now there is a problem. This query does not filter by the user ID. It's showing everybody's data. What if I want to filter? I need to filter by the user ID. You are seeing other people's grades now. So now in order to filter, it's exactly the same query. So basically it will be like db.collection, and it's also grades, and then you have a where clause, where equal to, then here is the field name, right? And then the value that you want to compare to. So basically the field name is going to be what? I want the owner ID to be equal to, so this owner ID, here it is, the owner ID to be equal to Firebase Firebase Auth dot get current user, get instance dot get current user dot get UID, the ID of that user. Okay, and then the same story. So basically, instead of doing it like this, let me cut the stuff from here. Instead of doing it just like this, it's going to be, you add the snapshot listener after the where clause. There it is, and something like this. See, nothing happened. You just add the where clause, and that becomes my listener registration. So basically, dot collection where equal to the owner ID is equal to the currently logged in user owner ID, and then add the snapshot listener there. So now when you run this, you will see it will only show data for the currently logged in user. You see, the currently logged in user doesn't have any data. So when we click on the plus sign, we'll go and add a course, and you will see that. Okay. All right. So now we go back to create. Let's say add a course fragment. We're here. Let's have a look at the this stuff here. Copy this. I'll need that because I'm gonna create it using the map. So let's do this something like this. Here we are. Good. Now we will need a database instance. So here's the instance. Here we are. Okay, good. So we'll get a reference like we did before to that document. So basically what we're going to do is we'll do a document reference, docref equals db dot collection, and it is grades. Okay, dot document. That's the document reference. This is just a reference to the document, right? And now I can go ahead and do this. So basically I can create the map, hash map, and this is my string comma object equal data it's data. I'll call it data equal new hash map. Here we are. And then basically I will just have to add the data. So basically data dot put, and we're going to add them one by one, right? So basically it will be something like this, right? So that's, we're gonna put these values one by one. All right, cool. So we have hours. This is this. Here's the hours. We have the letter grade. Is the oops. So this is hours, and then this is the letter grade. We did that. The hours is a number, and then this is the name, and then the number, course number, and then the owner ID, and we're good to go. So that's the data that we have. Now if we scroll down a little bit, the course hours is a double, right? And we can put this surrounded by a try catch block to fix this, but anyhow, so this is the doubles, this is the hours. Okay, and then the letter grade is course letter grade. Here it is. Okay, this is the course letter grade, and then the course name is the course name. Okay, and then the course number is the course number. And then the owner ID is Firebase Auth dot get instance dot get UID. So that gets you the data. So now we can also add to that the document ID. Data dot put, I'll call it for example doc ID. It's useful, doc ID, because when you are deleting it's also useful. So this is the document reference dot get ID. I want to add the document ID to the document, right? Okay, so basically technically what I want to do is I want this number, you see this number, I want to add this as doc ID and land it here, something like this. So basically I want the doc ID to be this, right? Now because we added the doc ID, we need to also add it to the class, to this class, add the string as doc ID, and then also add a getter and setter for it. All right, cool. So I have the document ID, adding that, and then what I need to do is just store it. So basically how do I store it? Document reference dot set to data dot add on complete listener, new on complete listener. All right, cool. So here we are, and then we just check to see if the task is successful, and then else we're going to do a toast and get activity task dot get exception dot get message. Right, here we are, and then here we just tell the listener that we are done, right? So if there is an listener, there is no one here. So let's do that. Let's add an listener, enable the auto completions. I'll do an interface, add course listener, done, add course, right? Here's that. So basically, let's do the mauth, mlistener, listener, and then on attach. Oh, sorry. On attach. Here we are. Cool. So here's my mlistener, right? And then basically I'll copy that from here. And when we're good, when we're done, I'll go here and say mlistener dot done add course, right? And then basically that should pop the backstack, but this needs to be done in the main activity. Here is the main activity. It needs to implement. All right, add course, and then this one implement the method. Here it is, and then you just pop the backstack, right? Cool. So we're good with this. There's a cancel button on that screen or what? I don't remember really. Oh, there is submit. There's a cancel also, so we can do the cancel, and the cancel also done. We can do the cancel as done also, so we can do this. Does the same thing, but if maybe you need cancel at course, maybe you need different functionalities. That's why I put the code binding dot button cancel dot set on click listener new, and then a cancel button add. We go back to the main activity, and it's going to be complaining because there is a missing method. Here it is, cancel, and also pop the backstack. Good. So we are done with adding a course. Again, to show you what we're doing when we're adding a course, basically we're just creating a document reference. That's mainly because I want the document ID, right? So basically create a document reference, you add your information, and you add it, and when everything is done, you just tell it you're done. It goes and pops the backstack. Okay, so let's run this and see this is going to work, right? So here we are, and I'll click on the plus sign, takes me here. I add a course. Let's say course number is ITIS 5180, and then here is mobile development. Now 3 hours A, and I click on submit. It added the course. You can also look at it here. You can see that the course was added. Here's that. You see mobile dev A and so on. I can add another course, you see, and let's say test, and this is the course number. Let's say, for example, let's add something meaningful. Let's say ITIS 5280, which is the advanced mobile development, and then the hours are 3, and let's say a B here, and I click on submit, B and A. Cool. So now to address the deletion, it's straightforward also. If you go back to the grades fragment, the deletion is in the recycler view view holder, right? So you go here to the view holder, there is the delete, and basically all we need to do in the delete is just get Firebase Firestore dot get instance dot collection, which is grades, right? Grades. Let me disable this autocomplete. Yeah, it's useful sometimes, but I want to describe something to you, so it's easier to do it without the autocomplete. So anyway, I need to take it to a document, a specific document that I would like to delete, and this is the mgrade.get document ID. I need the document ID. That's why I will do that, and then delete, and then you add on complete listener, new on complete listener, and you can do something when it's deleted, but I'm not going to do anything because there is a snapshot listener here. You see that snapshot listener, if you look at the top, the snapshot listener takes care of, where is it? The snapshot listener takes care of it, because if when data changes, you will get notified. So, and it will re-render it will retrieve the new data, and it will refresh the recycler view. So let's see. You see here, let's delete the B. Here it is. It got deleted. Let's delete the A. It got deleted. Add another one. Say here, for example, test name. Let's say 3A, and basically submit. And here we go. Now, in order to calculate the GPA is just an arithmetic operation, straightforward. When do we do it? Is whenever we load the list. So basically here, we notify and then calculate the GPA. So basically I can have a private void calculate GPA, and basically what I could do is I could go in and have different cases. For example, as the app first starts, you could say, for example, if grades grades dot size is equal to 0, then I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna do something else, right? So you'll do binding dot text view GPA dot set text to maybe 4.0, I think 4.0, right? So that's the GPA, and then there is also hours. So basically there is GPA is this, and then similarly we did this before, so this is just a review in that case. So we go here, if you go to the grades fragment okay, hours, here we are, and this one is what? This one is GPA. Good. So this text view GPA, and then binding dot text view hours dot set text hours to 0. I think so. Hours lowercase 0. Okay. Hours is 0.0. Okay, good. So that's if it's empty. Otherwise, we just do the math. We need to go over the loop. So for each grade in grades, then we do some math, right? So let's do here a double accumulation, right? Here it is, equal to 0.0. This is the accumulative so far, and we need to divide by what? So basically, if you look at the formula, the formula is total grade points divided by total credit hours. So this is the hour count. So basically, double hours equal to 0.0. This is the hours. So basically, what we need to do here is just go in and do accumulate equals accumulate plus grade dot get hours, right? Times the hours times the letter grade. So basically, we need an if-else statement to do this. So basically, I need the letter grade. So basically, double letter grade, right? Or letter grade equal to 0.0, right? I'll do if grade dot get letter grade dot equals an A, then it's a 4, right? 4.0 and so on. So we need this stuff. So this is 4.0, else if. So now if it's a B, then it will be a 3.0, and then if it's a C, then it's gonna be a 2.0, and so on, right? So basically, copy this from here, paste it here, and then if it's a D, then it's going to be a 1.0, and if otherwise, it's gonna be a 0. So basically, we're good here. Now ACC equal get the number of hours times the letter grade, right? And then hours equals hours plus grade dot get hours. Cool. So we're good here, right? We're good. And now we go here and check to see before we divide by 0. So we check to see if hours is equal to 0, right? Then we'll do something else. We'll do something else. So basically, if hours is equal to 0, we're just going to do something like this, right? And then basically here we can do the GPA. So basically AC equals AC divided by hours, right? So that becomes your GPA, and then the GPA equals we can do the auto-completion also here, enable you to do some okay, string dot format, and we can do something like this. And similarly also the hours, string dot format, also the hours, remove the 0.0. So now we have that. Whenever you call this method, it's going to take care of the situation of doing the GPA arithmetic and calculate GPA. So when do we call this method? I can call it when the app first starts, for example. I can do that here, for example here. I can do something like this. Here it is, calculate GPA. And then similarly here, when you are notifying that the data has changed, I can just calculate the GPA. Now when we run this, let's see. Here it is. When the app first starts, GPA is 4. We delete this. It's 4. Add the course. Let's say some course here, some course. Let's say 3B, and click on submit. It's a B. You add another course. Let's say 3A. Now the GPA should be 3.5. Here it is. Number of hours is 6. We delete the B. You get an A. You get 4.0, and this is number of hours. So yeah, it's straightforward. Please let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.